Hello, this is Agir. I work for Digital of Things. I'll be moderating today's session. I've got with me Nico, who is the co-founder and CTO of Creative 971, and I've got Sudit, who is the CEO and co-founder of Digital of Things. We'd like to have an open discussion today about the different trends in the region versus the global trends. Which part of those trends are sustainable here within the UAE and the region compared to the rest?
Okay, that's a good question. This region is definitely unique. You got to remember there's 200 nationalities living here. It's quite a big expat culture. We see a lot of differences in this region compared to global. Just off the top of my head, there's a huge convenience culture that we see. People are used to getting things delivered straight to their houses or their flats. They want things very, very quickly. We see that from food delivery apps to petrol getting delivered or pharmacies delivering 24/7. That, I think, has just engraved that culture here. And if you provide an experience that is any less than that, then customers are not going to be happy. This is just one
no, that's true.
difference I see compared to Europe, for example. I don't know, Nico, do you see that in?
I would say on a business level, I think that it's a really big one. Let's say WhatsApp, right? We do use that here with most of our clients, and there is no kind of boundaries between private life or after work life or like these kind of things, because you're like constantly in touch with or through WhatsApp, which is fine. It works extremely well. But let's say if you would do that in Europe or somewhere in Germany, this is not acceptable, or it's just not common, or it's just not totally used over there. So I would say the convenience of a relation between an agency to a customer, or in general to any employee and their kind of employer, is dominant on WhatsApp. This is, I would say, it's a big difference.
A couple of other ones we see here is, I would say, payment. Especially before this year, payment methods that people prefer were a lot different from what we saw globally. Contactless payments were there a long time ago outside of this region, but it's only now picking up traction. People were just not comfortable with all different types of payment methods, but now we're seeing things like contactless payment, Apple Pay. We've got things like
cash on delivery.
Cash on delivery,
for example.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking for. So cash on delivery was always the case here. It's changing now slightly as people get more comfortable with the online payment methods. So I think this is going to stay as well as we continue. And actually it might get even more complex. Things like buy now, pay later solutions are coming in a lot, not globally, but also in this region. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, that might come into play, quite effective in the next couple of years. So I'm sure we'll see a big change in payment methods. But I would say that it was very different compared to the rest of the world, even just a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the accessibility for actually whatever you do need, you get it 24/7.
Yeah,
literally. So this is what I would say. It's a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing that we see, which is slightly strange, is a lot of people here, people living here, really love offers, promotions, deals compared to the rest of the world. Obviously that's always a nice incentive to have, but I think customers, generally speaking, kind of seek out offers and the promotions, and that might be a culture again ingrained from like the Entertainer or the other discount books that you have, and that's just fell into place here. So we see a lot of e-commerce websites offering discounts and deals, and people are there to take advantage of them. I don't know if you see that in your clients.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, from an e-commerce perspective, I think that it's a lot because of that cash on delivery related, right? Let's say we have customers that are purchasing from different websites the same item, the same promotion, and they just think themselves, you know what, whoever is appearing first on my door I will pay, and the other ones I totally disregard. So e-commerce platforms do have to fight a lot with kind of nonsense refunds. There is a lot of maybe around 20 to 40% of loss on these kind of transactions based on cash on delivery and shipping kind of convenience, what the customer just is common or used to, right? So let's say if you order something cash on delivery, If we would do that, most probably you would think, okay, you order it one time somewhere, you just get it, you get your item. But yeah, most of the people, they know, okay, you're dominant, you're kind of more convenient in a way, if you could say so. I think a combination in e-commerce between cash on delivery and convenience is where we see hurdles, but at the same time tremendous like kind of opportunities for startups and businesses to harness exactly that.
But I think it has knock-on effects as well. Like if the cash on delivery, if they do send back the delivery, that eats into the margins, it eats into all the overhead costs, which in turn means that the retailers will have to increase their prices, right, for the customer to factor in this loss, which is a shame because that actually affects the end customer at the end of the day.
No, it does.
Yeah, it has lots of knock-on effects.
That's true. That's been really insightful. Thank you, guys. If I want to talk a bit more about the e-commerce, and we know that it's not just a storefront, would you be able to give us a bit more idea in terms of an omni-channel e-commerce as an omni-channel experience? Can you give us more details of that?
Yeah. So yeah, we hear that word very often. Like it's talked about omni-channel, right? But most of the people, they really don't know what's it about or what's going on about omni-channel. Right, so for us, how we define that, it's basically you have multi-channels, right? Different channels what a normal kind of retailer is selling their items nowadays, right? They have a shop, a retail shop. They have their online e-commerce websites. They have different e-tailers, which we call them, right? It's like different websites which you list your products on to sell onto. Then at the same time you have your mobile, your application, the iOS app, you have an email, an SMS, and your phone or contact details. So what I was counting now is I think around 7 different channels. So if you look at yourself, you would say, okay, what kind of different channels I'm constantly in touch? You would know, okay, it is Facebook, it's Instagram, it's your phone, it is as an SMS because you get maybe your car reminder for the parking is going through SMS. Like all of these channels is for you as a human being here in the UAE, it's common that whatever news and information is going to be fed through these multiple channels, and you're actually doing that. So to break that now down is basically you want to achieve with an omni-channel approach to harness or utilize all of these channels what everyone is already used to, including an e-commerce website and the retail shop, to use that very, very smartly to advertise it across these channels with the kind of unity of information what you would get from each of these channels in order to make the most out of that.
Yeah, and it's hard to get it right actually. You know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you have to balance out everything in terms of communication.
I have a good example about that. Yeah. Let's say maybe you've seen that in Dubai Mall or in retail stores that not Dubai Mall itself, but maybe the retail stores or different brands, they maybe have a mirror, right? It's called like a magic mirror.
Oh, yeah.
What you maybe have in your wardrobe or wherever you have that, right? So you could actually start to go there, scan the item, but then the problem is there is no call to action, right? You see that item, you see maybe it's available, but do really people expect that you put that item into your cart and then on the mirror you're starting to do an interaction, which a lot of people did, right? Which is like, I mean, it's not really helpful if you just see the different kind of sizes, but if you're not harnessing or like getting the information of a customer, then it's quite nonsense, right? Or if it's something which me as a customer is providing a hurdle, not like a solution, it won't work. So these are examples which didn't work out so well. You just need to do it right. For example, if you imagine Rebecca Minkoff, it's a huge website. They have done that in New York. They have done it very well. For example, you go to one of these magic mirrors and you will be able to see your products, to scan it in. You will see the product, what sizes are available. And then you would be able to put all of this information and you simply put your phone number, your mobile number. So what they are going to do is they already ask you for the first contact of a customer to put your mobile number, because you will get via an SMS information about your cart, what you have, all of your clothes, you have just tried them literally on, and you have like saved them in your virtual kind of mirror, and then you will send this information to your phone number. So you entered phone number. So what they do with the phone number, they send it to you, they send you a URL, through an SMS, which you need to click on that URL to be redirected to the e-commerce website, which is the second channel. If you're then starting to implement information or purchasing from your website, you will opt into most probably email sign up, which is then like a sign up or a newsletter sign up, or after the purchase, it's the third channel. So if this is like done very well, you should provide to a customer the kind of the convenience in order to get from him what you want, but not letting him feel that, but actually utilizing every kind of sales channels what every one of us is already using, because this is the way how everyone is used to. So you need to feed him in that way the kind of information and try to get that information, and then shoot or cross shoot from everywhere the kind of marketing and promotions, but they should make sense, as you said. Exactly. So this is like, for example,
and it should be consistent, the whole flow, because end users, when they interact with a brand, they're not looking at channels individually, right? They're looking at the whole experience of that brand.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think a lot of people forget that. You know, they start designing maybe the best e-commerce solution, but they forget about all the other channels. And for the customer, at the end of the day, it's the brand they're interacting with, right? And that's their perception of the brand. So if you go on a flight, you know, you not only just look at the online booking experience, but you're looking at, you know, baggage drop-off, the check-in experience, the cabin experience, even the loyalty experience. That's all one brand, and that's what people think about. So you got to make sure you look at all the different channels you've got available.
Yeah, that's true. But then in the social world or in the digital world, thing is that we have different kind of channels, and on different channels you expect a different message.
Correct. Yeah.
For example, if you communicate on one of these channels in the wrong way, customer will be very much annoyed. For example, I wouldn't follow most probably a brand which I really do like. I unsubscribe them from an email newsletter because they're doing email newsletters wrong, right? So I don't care if they're having like a sale of women clothes, right? I don't care because I'm not interested in that. So this is what we still see here, what is not done really right. It is like developing in the right direction, but let's say if you have these different channels and you want to build an omni-channel, you would need to understand as well in which kind of message do you give across each channel. For example, maybe I will follow the brand should be everywhere, right? But they should understand what is expected. For example, I would follow them Instagram, but I would unsubscribe them on the email, which would be harmful, because if they would know how to do the email marketing right, I would be a loyal customer, because email marketing does work, just you need to do it right. For example, if I would most probably purchase something from a brand which I really do like, right? Maybe it's black, it's a limited edition, and it is maybe like a little bit rough, for example, right? So if I purchased it already, the customer or the brand, the e-commerce brand, should have this information, and it should make a kind of segmentation. And then if they know and understand, okay, I'm a male, I like black, I like the black color, I like limited editions, and maybe it's a VIP product because it is a certain price. I'm in certain kind of email lists which they will purely dedicate these content to me, nothing else. Because I will consume that, I will read that, and I will most probably opt into that. So there is a lot of different examples, but just coming back to that point.
Definitely personalization is the way moving forward.